You know, a garage fire's not going to stop me, right? Just work out in the cold. All right. Well, can't kill my spirits that easy. 1985, 86, 87, Suzuki 300E. I think it's a king quad, but I'm not sure. Last owner had it for 20 years. Parked 8 years. No spark. I didn't go riding on it. They used it to push sprint cars around. They had a lot of trophies. So, lost spark, parked. That's what my job's going to be. Figure out what it is, and I have a suspicion on what it is. Because I've had this with the LT125s, and it's that starter stator. Electric start only. I mean, they did have pull start ones. So I'll have to see if I can put the guts in there of a pull starter. He said it was shaft driven. I'm glad it's not. That's just more complicated parts. But everything looks excellent shape. It's been sitting a while. We get her running. We're gonna blow the cobwebs out of her. 4 pictures. One was on the ad, asked for more. They gave me 3. I showed them, sent them a picture of the cash. They gave me an address. Hopped in the truck. Well, baked the Jack's pizza. Sausage pepperoni. It was delicious. Baked it. Cut it up. Threw it in a container. Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Gone. Just on the road, gone. Straight south. 1.5 hours one way. Truck did excellent. 19.1 miles to the gallon. 133 mile round trip. Thoroughly impressed. I mean, this thing is immaculate. Let's get her unloaded. Let's see what we've got here. No front brakes. I tested that. Didn't even check the rears. I have this ratchet strapped down though. That's one practice I do. So it doesn't fly out, you fall and get hurt, you know. This thing eats up the 6.5 foot bed this truck has. It is a monster. Oh. Nope. Here we go. Pump up some brakes. Nope. Nope, no brakes. So, alright, no brakes, no problem. This thing just weighs all the weight in the world. Oh my god, it eats up the whole ramp too. Alright, sweetie, we gotta go straight down. Let go then. Hey, we got it. 36, I start to feel it. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this beast. Look at this thing. I didn't realize how. Oh, I do have it. It's actually in. I'll let you guys know. LT125. All the goodies that we're going to try to get it running with. Some of them. The seat and the bracket. But we'll just close the truck for now. So, we've got a seat. It's definitely a dirt track tire. I'm going to leave it on there too. It's a hellacious bumper. 2-wheel drive. Ain't shaft driven. I'm happy about that. Hydraulic brakes. They don't work. There's nothing here either. But I got fluid. I bought some. Thinking ahead. There's 2,129.5 miles. Nice. They didn't drive it, like I said, around or ride it. It was just used to push sprint cars around, dirt track racers. I saw that when I was there. I'm like, oh, you got a push button start right here. How nice. He's like, I don't remember what that did. I think that might be it. He's like, I thought it started up here. I'm like, well, the last one that... And they subscribed. Thank you, by the way. I told them that one up there had the same modification. But we'll look more into it. Custom fuel door. We're gonna keep that. That's nice. I don't think these are racing wheels. Nope. Fenders have got a little damage, the typical fixing. But other than that, they're all there. We're missing one of the rubber. We'll get that figured out. We don't want to get splashed by everything and in our face. Nope. What is that? Oh, all right, well, what is in here? That's nice. Let's see. Well, it's bungee corded together, that's for sure. I'm gonna have to do that later, actually. Sitting outside, all the cobwebs. No, it ain't a hydraulic brake. That's just needs adjusted. It moves. It just don't move. All right. Chain looks good. Tires all hold air. No pull start. I wonder if the one on that's still good. Probably not. It's probably burned to hell. Shifter. What's our pattern here? I have no idea. Rugged. That's a hell of a machine. Who knows the last time it was checked for spark? Timing mark. I don't think this is a wet setup. Don't think it is. That's where you look for your timing marks. I had a light back in the day hooked onto here. You take it off and you can, look around. Be nice to have again. Be nice if lights worked on this one and a charging system. Be the first one. Full suspension. This thing's just it's just a sweet, sweet four-wheeler. A little bit of oil up on the front of the engine. And probably a leaky seal up there on the inspection cover. That's fine. Does it have oil? Do these even have sight glasses? Probably not. 10W40. I grabbed 2 quarts of it. There's your filter. I had one. It's gone. Guess our goal is going to be restoring spark. We're going to have to do that tomorrow. Because it's getting dark out, cold. And fortunately, I can work in daylight. Can't work at night. But progress on this is going to be happening. Back of the house did get singed. All that's on order. It's coming in. That over there, it got hot. Trash cans protected the bottom, but that don't matter. But all this has been going to be fixed. That's first. Same guy that's doing that. We're going to be doing demo work. I'm going to be getting a storage unit for all the saws and stuff that I can save, putting them in there. Once that's done, I'm going to say, all right, let's haul everything away. So, assessment was done on everything and whatnot, and can't let this kind of thing bring you down for too long. It happens. So, we're going to build back better, guys. We're going to build a hellacious shop here, hopefully. Keep going. Keep moving on. Hopefully 220 volt will get put in at some point. TIG weld, big air compressor. We have a hellacious man cave, but that aside, we'll come back to this tomorrow. Next day, sun's shining. What little can get over the garage over there. Oh, we don't need the light on that camera, do we? No, we don't. All right. So, suspected lost spark was it. I downloaded the manual. It looks pretty straightforward, really, when it comes to any of the wiring and stuff like that. It has a pickup and it has the regular, has like 2 coils or whatever. Well, it shows a single, but to simplify it, you got 3 yellows that come out for the charging system, 1 for the coil system, and 1 for the pickup. The pickup goes to the CDI box, not the trigger or whatever, trigger coil, goes to the CDI box, tells it, hey, we've built up enough charge, release. All right, so the CDI box releases that into the ignition coil. Ignition coil does its thing and it sends fire. So it's really not a complex setup. It's just annoying. And the thing is, CDI boxes are. I got my new tool set. I got a 450 piece Craftsman that I got on sale, 17 or an 18, and they work. They're exact every time versus points, and they allow for the advancing of ignition, 18 millimeter through the thunk. So I got a battery charging for it. I have a brand new battery I bought for the other one, and although it seems small for this, it'll have to do. Got some leaves and crap there. This spark plug is a little bit in a tighter spot. This also has 4 valves per cylinder, and it only has 1 cylinder, but 4 valves. That is. Uh-oh. It doesn't like that. Ugh. Like I said, I didn't get to test compression or anything like that. It's just how it is. But we'll get to see how it was burning before it stopped. Is there a special wrench for this? Because everything is rubbing. This is gonna just be fun. I'll bring it back when we fight that spark plug out. Like, it's really tight with all the valves. Well, she's burning a bit rich. But no oil soot. Question is, cranking it over to see if it actually has any spark, if it was something weird. Where'd my spark plug wire go? You know, all that good stuff I've got to ask myself. Where did my spark plug wire go? What a weird thing to have happen so early in this process. Right. Oh, the classic starter bypass. Remember that button I told you about and they didn't remember? Yeah, that's how it starts, because they've got this very thin gauge wire bypassing the solenoid, meaning the switch is no good, which probably this connected into here and why the switch died or something. So that's lovely. We might jump it, put the screwdriver. So typical switch solenoid or whatever, shit the bed, but yeah. Say, all my tools burned up, so we're gonna have to do some stuff just enough to see what's going on by getting spark, and oh yeah, that seems right. All right, well, let's see. That ain't working. If something's wrong with the wire between here and there, I don't know. Doesn't appear to be. Tried to jump with a screwdriver and it didn't even work across those contacts, so okay, whatever. This wire, okay. Let's see here. Hook that to there. That's weird. I just had it cranking off the starter, hooking it directly to here. Forgot to turn the camera on, and now nothing. And we're hooked directly to the battery. Bad ground. can ground that to the case. Ah, it's weird. There's a starter solenoid I can hear trying to push, but back here, no, we're directly bypassing everything. I wonder if that starter's having issues. I bet you it is. Hard to test spark when we can't turn it over, huh? We'll do some more poking and prodding. Just had to hit it with a hammer. We do have lights up here indicating on, but I'll just bend over here and look if we got spark. I got the ignition switch on. It's here on in the run position. Nothing, as suspected. But looking at all this goofy wiring going on back here, I have a feeling stuff might not get ignition, but that looks more of its starting circuitry, because their setup for the ignition was quite simple. There was a on and off switch, an engine switch. They don't describe what the engine switch is. So that could be grounding out the CDI. So I gotta look in the manual, see what wires were what, and track them down on what that engine switch is. All right, back tracing some wires here. So our entire setup goes into this mass connection right here. There's like 3 connectors in here. We've got this wire. I remember that one where it's supposed to go to. It's going to the back. It's going to La La Land. So we trace it, we follow it, and it goes into that. That was wrapped up in tape, and it's like, oh, what was that? That leads us into this wiring harness that leads us into a CDI box. This doesn't look like a factory location for a CDI box just to be sitting. It doesn't look factory at all, I wouldn't think. So I'm suspecting we've got a bad CDI. You get a bad CDI, you don't do vroom stuff, do ya? I'm gonna keep tracing and seeing what else I can find here of what's going on. So went and took off that questionable connector. The only wire that could reach it, I put it on there. Oh, engine switch. Obviously it turns on, hooked up to the battery. You try to put it in reverse, you're not in neutral anymore. So, neutral safety switch is working. Obviously nothing. So this is working. But we still, I'm pretty sure, we have nothing. So I'm questioning the CDI box, because that's not original. So I'm gonna have to look it up, see what we're going at here. But I mean, do we have any compression? We'll check that out here in a sec. Alright, put our finger over the hole. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, plenty of compression. Well, that answers that question, but no spark. Ran, lost spark. That holds up, so something electrical failed. I'm suspecting a CDI. I'm gonna sit through the wiring diagram for a little bit, let this battery recharge, and we'll continue going on. Okay, so according to my manual, that CDI box and the part on it belongs to an LT300E. You know, the one that's the same to the right of me. Yeah, that burned up. So either way, I've got a manual here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to break some stuff down on what wires should be doing what. The blue-green here. The blue-green is your pickup coil. This is the one that tells this giant connector. It tells your CDI to fire. All right, that's your pickup that goes down inside. And I know the ohm values for that's supposed to be. The black and brown come off the power coils, so we should have a straight black and brown. Nope, those don't exist. Got a brown. So we'll keep going here. Black, yellow to the ignition switch. So this one goes to our switch and it kills everything. So if we unhook that, we unground the CDI, and if we get spark, then we have a faulty ignition switch somewhere. Oh, here's a brown and black, but what? Oh, that's a black, white. So, all right. Well, look at those. That might be just tail lights. I don't know. So, to our CDI here only. We have a brown one coming off of the CDI that's tied into a, like I said, it's the wrong setup. I don't know what's going on there. It's tied into a black with yellow tracer. Black yellow tracer on this is, once again, the ignition switch. So I've got like 2 ignition switches going on or something here, even though they're tied into the same one. So I'll have to do some probing here of what's going on. Black, white. This should be going to my ignition coil. So that's an ignition coil one. White with blue tracer. That's also ignition coil. So ignition coil, our firing, we've got a switch, and we've got to have a power source to the CDI. The CDI's power, like I said, is a brown and black. And I'm not seeing that in our wiring at all. Or it's a black with a white tracer, but so I'm gonna have to look around and see who is what in here. If some one of these is supposed to be power and it's mislabeled or whatever. I've already looked at the coil and somebody's definitely messed with that. That wiring looks fun. Getting the plastics off this thing is gonna suck. Absolutely suck. I mean, I've looked at it, I'm like, how do you get all of this off? I gotta take the top rack off and everything, so this might be a pain in the butt process, but I think I gotta go get a new meter. Mine is gone. Unless the Harbor Freight one that I had in there survived and it could beep, then we're okay. So, but I've got all the resistance and stuff like that, you know, ignition coil. Like, for instance, it's tucked way up under there. To test it first, remove the ignition coil. Okay, vague. And stuff like that. So we're going to have to test resistance, like the pickup and the power source ohm resistance. If those ohm out good, then we will be set to know that those are fine to begin with, and we can just diagnose the CDI box. And I'm looking at wires of ones online and everything, but I got to find out what that mystery one down there that was tied together, what the hell does that do and go to? So this is where, if I'd had a garage to be able to sit, I could sit on the ground a little bit better, but we'll see what's going on with this setup. And I got to find out where those other 2 wires go to. I think those just go back to a tail light. Pretty sure they do. Alright, so our black one turned into that black yellow, that turned into a brown, that went into the CDI box. According to the schematics, the power source coil that gives us our spark, you know, down there, between 180 and 350 ohms of resistance, we are at 247 ohms right now. 245, 246 ohms of resistance. So that is not our problem. That is doing its job down there. So it should be making power, or at least able to whatever with it. So that's not our issue. Now we'll test our pickup coil here, which is this connector right here. Because these, I know, are notorious for going out. And we are reading nothing. Nada. Zero. Zip. Nada. So what I'm suspecting here is the trigger coil. Yeah, our pickup trigger coil that tells the CDI when to fire, we are getting nothing, meaning that is what is bad, or suspected to be. It doesn't know to trigger, thus we don't get spark. So there we go. That's what my suspect is. As for the coil on this thing, I've always seen Suzuki's be a one-wire coil, and for some reason this thinks that we need to have 2 wires going to it, but it just goes straight to ground anyway, so I would suspect, I don't know, the black-white wire, whatever, off of the CDI. It's supposed to be a black-white wire coming off this thing, and yeah, that's our, right there. It's also black-yellow was our switch. So black-white, this is the ground from the CDI, so that goes to there. So it's your ground and powers and everything and stuff. So this one right here is our suspect, not the CDI box itself at the moment. That's what we're after. Our pickup is not firing over. I don't know a way of bypassing that or what voltage it takes. I mean, they're minute on voltage and everything to fire. So it's not something I want to test with 12 volts or anything like that to see if it will fire. I mean, yeah, we're not even going to try that. So, all right, that means I got to try and find a pickup coil for this. Once again, one of those, I remember my dad probing back in the day and doing wiring, and you just have to take it one at a time. Get a diagram, put your glasses up or put them down, and one wire at a time it. So, like I say, the actual power coil down there that gets power, puts in CDI. CDI needs to know when to fire. It doesn't know when to fire because the pickup is not having it. So we get a new pickup, which means we will have to pick this back up again later when I can find one. All right, went to the plug source here. Nothing on the resistance whatsoever. It's not giving me an ohm reading. Got it on voltage right now. I think I'm just gonna have to order a new starter too because this one is not having it. See? But you hit it with anything hammer-like. You see, no voltage. It isn't even trying. It's supposed to have like some kind of voltage to trigger and it's not. So that is that on there. The pickup is not doing its job. The pickup ain't working. Nothing else is going to work. So that, like I say, I'd like to unplug these and see if these are anything coming out of the electrical. It's one big ass setup here. We got blue, red lead wires and stuff like that, and somebody got hot. Yeah. I have a feeling those connectors are together forever. Yeah, these are all, that got hot. So, all right. That tells me what I need to know. The pickup is dead. Thankfully, you can find them on eBay. Not just the pickups, but the whole magneto assemblies and everything. No. You find the whole pickup assemblies about 70 or whatever and up dollars used and everything. So we'll go ahead and we'll see about that. I'm going to keep probing at stuff and seeing if maybe something, but yeah.